Some of the plus, good evening. Welcome back on another episode of the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter banger with you another video. Smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure those notifications are turned on, make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday evening once again. Smash the like, hit that subscribe, make sure to share onto the video. Second video of the night, back to back, as we do like Drizzy Drake. You know that we going back to back. All right, this is about the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. Now we know that ladder matches have already been groundbreaking, from the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match at WrestleMania to the triangle ladder match of Edge and Christian, the Dudleys and the Hardys, to then TLC, and so on and so forth. Now, this idea was presented by Chris Jericho to Eric Bischoff, and from what I heard, it was really Chris Jericho's idea to come up with this Money in the Bank ladder match. What is the Money in the Bank ladder match? Well, it is a ladder match that has a contract suspended high above the ring, and inside that briefcase is a contract for a future World Heavyweight Championship match that you can cash in anywhere up to 1 year, whenever you decide to do it. Now, the 6 superstars that were in this match were Edge, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Christian, Shelton Benjamin, and Kane. These were the 6 competitors, and obviously Christian was with Tyson Taco. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match took place at WrestleMania 21 in Los Angeles, California. You know, Hollywood, right? Now, that match ended up being, if I want to rate the match, I probably want to say a 4.5 to 5, 4.5 out of 5 stars. The match was really good. It had its high spots. Probably the most impressive guy in that match, obviously, was Shelton Benjamin. His athleticism was off the charts, and we know Shelton, when it comes to these ladder matches, he finds a way to steal the show. And this was really Shelton's opportunity to show that he could perform on a big stage, because Shelton came in as the Intercontinental Champion. And for those who don't know, Jericho was the Intercontinental Champion previously, and Shelton Benjamin had beat him after the fans voted him in at Taboo Tuesday to face Chris Jericho, and ended up defeating him for the Intercontinental Championship at Taboo Tuesday 2004. And he came in as the Intercontinental Champion coming into that bout. So, again, a lot of high spots. There was a moment where Kane came in and the ladders were all, burning. I remember the King had pointed it out, and he noticed that all the ladders were on fire. But it was a classic. And the biggest thing that I remember from that match was Edge winning it. Not just Shelton Benjamin with his performance, and looking back on it, we had Jericho was able to do a crossbody on, I think, Edge. Captain Charisma springs off the second rope and then splashes on everybody. Benjamin does a somersault over the top rope, kind of like a helo, and then Kane does his typical climb up the rope and try to pretty much takes everybody out and all that. So they had their little high spots and moments and all that. And you have your Wile E. Coyote camera, but I want to focus on Edge, because we know that Shelton did, the springboard clothesline. He did a T-bone on Edge off the ladder. He ran up the ladder when Jericho set up the ladder. He ran up and then gave him a clothesline. Like, Shelton was just athletically unbelievable. He did some breathtaking things that I had never seen before in a ladder match. And I'm like, yo, we know Shawn Michaels made the match famous, but like, my God, I mean, we saw the athleticism of the Hardys, and Edge and Christian giving their moments, but it was like Shelton Benjamin, for an individual performer in that match, he did some of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen out of a superstar. It was just unbelievable. But what I want to focus is on Edge. Edge wins the briefcase, and this was really the first time that he was kind of labeled as the ultimate opportunist, because if you look at that match, he really didn't get a lot of offense in that match. He kind of waited for the opportune time, and that was when Benoit had his one arm messed up by Kane. When Kane, pretty much took his arm and just slammed it through the ladder repeatedly, that's because Benoit had the crossface on him. So Edge used the chair to knock off Benoit when Benoit had already cleared the ring, and he already had his moment knocking Kane off with headbutts and stuff. So Edge wins. Edge up to this point was pretty pissed off that he was getting overlooked as a guy who could potentially be World Heavyweight Champion. He was talking about how much he got screwed. Fans were starting to turn on Edge right at around the SummerSlam point on, and he became a heel. The funny thing about Edge is that 2 years prior, in 2002, he was actually having an amazing run. He had a nice rivalry with Kurt Angle. He defeated Booker T at WrestleMania. Edge was putting on he had a classic match with Eddie Guerrero on, I don't know if it was on a pay-per-view or if it was, I think that it was on SmackDown. And it was for the Intercontinental Championship. And he put on a classic with him. So Edge was doing great and he was showing that he possibly could become a main eventer up until the neck injury happened. So after the neck injury happened, he was out for over a year. And people were wondering, was he going to be the same when he came back? Because you know how neck injuries can be in the sport of professional wrestling. So when he came back, I said to myself, how long was Edge gonna last? Because I don't know if Edge's career was going to last as long as it is, because they say when you have neck injuries, doctors mostly would tell you you're on borrowed time. And it's true, you're on borrowed time because neck injuries can start to linger into many other parts of your body. So you could start to suffer a lot of complicated problems when it comes to injuries. You get future injuries in other parts of the body, especially when you have a spinal neck injury like the one Edge suffered. And it was disappointing because Edge was really, really, really doing well. And I think people kind of overlook his 2002 run because it was very underrated. But the reason I'm focusing on Edge is because after he wins the Money in the Bank, this was when Edge was starting. The first thing I said was, if Edge wins, am I going to be able to take him seriously as a main eventer? Well, he proved me wrong with the matches that he had with Kane, and then the matches he was having with Matt Hardy, especially their classic Unforgiven match in 2005. That solidified to me Edge's WrestleMania one with the briefcase to say that, yeah, Edge is a main eventer. It's just a matter of time before he becomes champion. But it showed me that Edge is a main event superstar. Like, he proved it. I was skeptical when he won the briefcase. But shout outs to Jericho, Benjamin, Christian, Kane, Benoit, and Edge. They put on a classic match, and let's face it, that they were the foundation for when Money in the Bank became an actual pay-per-view. So we have to thank those 6 men and thank Chris Jericho for the idea of making that ladder match the chance to put a briefcase up on top that has a contract for a World Heavyweight Championship. Remember, Edge cashed in, he won. RVD won it the next year, cashed in, he won. So it has its advantages. It kind of made you a main event player. Mr. Kennedy won, but we know what happened with that briefcase. Edge took that briefcase, he beat him for it, and then he cashed it in on The Undertaker after he had a brutal cage match. That's where Edge got the nickname The Opportunist. But I'm glad to see that match, happened in Hollywood. It was a classic. And it's crazy because you had 2 interpromotional matches that stole the show. Undertaker and Randy Orton, Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, 2 classic matches. Obviously, to me, Kurt Angle and Shawn was slightly better than Orton and Taker. But the fact that ladder match, it kind of becomes more underrated considering how much Angle and Michaels and Orton and Taker get kind of talked about more than the Money in the Bank ladder match, because that match was a classic and it was great. Maybe some people might not have liked it. Like I said, Sheldon was the star of the show, but Edge is the star that ends up winning it. And it propels his career, which I didn't think it would do at first, because I was like, okay, are they going to make, I wonder how he's going to be like for the rest of the year. No, Edge had a very good 2005. He had a very good 2005. His 2005 to me it's almost underrated, but I would still say it's definitely one of his greatest years for sure, because that was the year that it propelled Edge for people, including Vince and creative team, to say Edge can be the face of the company. And Edge really busted his ass and worked his tail off, to get to where he was at. So I gotta give Edge his respect. He made a believer out of me, and that's where he became the rated R superstar. Ratings were great when he was champion. He had the highest rated Monday Night Raw when he first won the title, and it was the highest rating in about 10 years. So that just lets you know the impact that Edge had as WWE champion. And so there's a little bit of the history of the ladder match. You guys can let me know what you guys think of the video in the comment section. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.